Hey, what up? What it is? Hey, I hope y'all doing good today. Welcome back to Fly for Two Raw. Hey, we're gonna be reacting to Lionel B. He has a video of it says Netflix documentary that they won't let 50 tell. So let's see what's up. Let's see what it is. If you been following the story, shit kind of crazy. If you watch the documentary, man, hopefully you use some sage or some holy water. All right, man, let's get back into it, man. Look, my stuff shut down on me. I was already trying to record this. I was almost done. And it shut off. So we're gonna try to get this done again. God damn.
Now, Netflix didn't just cap Curtis Jackson's documentary at 4 episodes, they allegedly cut entire sections that were considered too explosive to air.
Everything couldn't make the. It was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot. You had to pick and choose things.
And one
So right off the bat, um, number one, I didn't trust Diddy because he's a smiling ass dude. Like all he does is smile, and not everything is as peachy as it seems if you just smiling like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, what I paused it for because 4 episodes, and they had to cut a lot just so they could have those 4 episodes, means that there's a lot more dirt on this man than we know. Hopefully we can get into it.
One of the most controversial claims never made it on screen involves something the internet has been whispering about for years: alleged underground tunnels connected to Diddy's properties. Now, according to 50 Cent, Netflix forced him to remove material he believed was critical to understanding the full scope of allegations surrounding Diddy. Now, one of the most controversial rumors circulating online involves alleged underground tunnels connected to properties linked directly to Sean Combs.
That is a bold claim. If they don't they don't have any footage, or because I like to give the benefit of the doubt, right? So they don't have any footage with these tunnels directly in his house or directly under his house. It's a very it's a far-fetched allegation to have, or it's a very outlandish allegation to have, and unless it's true.
Now, these claims have continued to resurface in online forums, conspiracy threads, and speculative discussions. High profile mansions, historical precedents, internet pattern recognition. The lack of transparency fuels speculation.
Yeah.
When important information is withheld, speculation fills the vacuum. And when Netflix decides it's too dangerous to air, that's where the real story starts. This may not be about
Hey, don't mention the tunnels. Okay, got it, boss.
protecting anyone, it may be about protecting Netflix. Now, 50
Okay.
said Netflix capped the Diddy documentary at 4 episodes. That decision forced him to cut a major allegation that was originally exposed during production. Now, one of the removed storylines also allegedly involved a claim connected to Tupac's fiance, and an implication that Netflix clearly did not want to touch.
Hold on.
Now, here's the key.
So you telling me, like, if you watch the documentary, you already know. So I'm not gonna spoil too much of it for you. But if you're here, you probably already seen the documentary. Diddy has a thing with going after people's exes or ex fiancés, or I don't like to say sloppy seconds, but what they the possession that I can't say possession. That's sound misogynistic. Go after women that these men have already courted. There you go. That sounds a lot better. And I thought that was weird to me. Like,
Key detail
extremely
people are missing.
weird.
50 Cent didn't say the allegations were false. He didn't say it was debunked. He said Netflix wouldn't let it air. Now, that distinction does matter.
Everything couldn't make the. was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot. You had to pick and choose things. Like even in like an area where he chooses to date people who he knows previously dated someone. He has a baby by a woman that was dating Tupac.
Wow.
To add to it, but we had to cut it down so he couldn't.
For time.
Because platforms don't edit content based on the truth, they edit content based on liability. Now let's talk about why Netflix would slam the brakes here, because this wasn't a creative choice, this was a legal survival instinct. Think about what that allegation touches. A deceased hip-hop icon, a woman tied to that legacy, a living billionaire with ongoing lawsuits, claims that cannot be cross-examined by all the parties that are involved. That's a legal minefield.
Okay.
Now Netflix doesn't care how a viral claim is if it opens them up to a defamation exposure, estate litigation, reputational damage, or advertiser backlash. Now this isn't censorship, this is risk management.
Yeah, but out of all these things that's out there on the internet, the situation with Cassie, the photos and the footage of the Diddy parties that they do have out, even with the comments made, there's really not much more you can really defame. Like nobody, I don't know many people on Diddy's side in this. I'm just being honest. I don't know how many people is on Diddy's side. And if they are, kudos to you for being with your people, your homie, family member. But the odds are stacked against him.
Now Netflix didn't say this isn't true. Netflix said we're not carrying this. And those are two very different statements. Now here's
Look
where
at that.
things
Boom.
get interesting. Netflix didn't just
Bieber. That's a tough one.
cut one story, they capped the entire
That's a tough one.
documentary. 4 episodes for the first installment, period. Now that means story arcs were compressed, context was trimmed, deeper threads were removed. When platforms cap length, it's usually for one or two reasons: viewer fatigue or narrative risk. And let's be real, this wasn't about no fatigue.
Right. I was about to say it wasn't viewer fatigue at all. I'm sure this was still on number one for quite some time after it aired. And I watched it. Me and my lady watched it together. I'm sure you might have watched it. Like I said, you're here, so you probably watched it. And some people rewatch it so they can see if they missed something. So yeah, it wasn't viewer at all. It wasn't no viewership at all. Because I found it highly entertaining.
Now Diddy's situation has endless viewer interest.
See?
This was about controlling how much exposure the platform itself absorbs. Netflix didn't want the story to expand, they wanted it contained. Now some people think this protects Diddy. That's the wrong idea. Because when people limit contents around one individual, it signals volatility. If nothing mattered, nothing would need to be removed. And here's the uncomfortable truth: Netflix is willing to air damaging material, they just won't air uncontainable material. Now the fact that something crossed that lines tells us this story has layers the public has.
Man, that boy's always been this man has always been a dancing fool. And it's tough because there's a lot of rappers from the South that don't mess with him like that. I know Lil Wayne didn't. I know Pimp C didn't. But a lot of these guys literally said it straight to the camera or straight to somebody's face or even straight to his face, what type of person he was. And sometimes it was subliminals, and it was for you to read between the lines or decode it. So yeah, you can't trust him.
Has not seen and may never see on a corporate platform. Let's talk about 50 for a second. This wasn't frustration, this was signaling. 50 didn't go on social media yelling. He calmly said, Netflix made us cut it. That's the message to his audience. He's saying, there's more here, but I can't be the one to say it. And if you know 50 Cent, you know one thing, he doesn't tease nothing.
Right.
When he drops breadcrumbs, it's intentional. Netflix is not protecting Diddy. They're protecting themselves. Corporations don't shield individuals, they shield balance sheets. And once the story becomes legally complex, emotionally radioactive, culturally explosive, and impossible to verify cleanly, it stops being content and starts being corporate exposure. That's why Netflix will air accusations, but not allegations that destabilize multiple legacies at once.
All right, so they talking about destroying legacies or defaming legacies, right? Hold on, I think let me make sure that was what I heard.
And impossible to verify cleanly. It stops being content and starts being corporate exposure. That's why Netflix will air accusations, but not allegations that destabilize multiple legacies at once.
Okay, he said destabilize. So, and my thing, right? They just showed the clip of him attacking Miss Ventura. So if you haven't seen it, go look at it. But I feel like I feel that his character has already been defamed. It's already been destabilized. It's already tarnished because he's put himself in these places where there are cameras, of course, security cameras. And he acts a damn fool, no matter where it's at, right? Or even just get recorded, like in the documentary, get recorded and goes and do a little PR stunt and makes comments when he gets back in his truck, right? So yes, he puts himself in those situations, and the way he did her in that video is legitimately unforgivable, dog. Like, he might treat his mom. I was like, would you treat your mom like that? But some people treat their mom like shit.
Now here's the part that nobody wants to say out loud. The most dangerous stories aren't the ones you hear, they're the ones platforms quietly remove. Because once something is cut at that level, it doesn't disappear, it just moves underground. And if this allegation never resurfaces outside a streaming platform, Netflix won't be the one controlling the narrative anymore. And when control shifts away from the institutions, that's when situations stop being documentaries and start becoming disasters. Now 50 ain't just talking, he's strategic. Now 50 says footage exists, that means it exists. And you already know he don't be bluffing. He's letting everybody know I got more and I'm not scared to use it. We're hearing claims about hidden footage, underground spaces, secret movements, and all that. But I will tell you this, when powerful people stay silent, then rumors get louder. That's just how the internet works now. So when something gets edited out, people already
Look at that fit though. I'm pretty sure some of y'all rock that shit, but look at that fit. That's why this is what he has gotten the title of the diddler. Cause look at that, man.
assume the word.
And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna pull it off. You can say, "Oh, I'm jealous because I can't pull it off." You're damn right, I'm not pulling it off. But I ain't jealous. Hell no.
Now this just ain't about Diddy. This is about who controls the narrative. Netflix controls what makes it to your screen. And 50 Cent, he controls what goes viral. And right now, those two don't seem like they're on the same page. Now, we think this story is done because the documentary aired. You're absolutely wrong. Like I told you guys before, Netflix is threatening to drop a whole nother documentary after Diddy tried to put a lawsuit on him. Now, the loud part is over, but the quiet part, that's where the real damage usually happens. And trust me, 50 didn't say all that for nothing.
Uncle 50.
Now, after Epstein, people don't.
Oh, this right here is a tough one. I don't know too much about it, but I knew they was talking about releasing the files. I don't know if they already released them or not, But but the people that are on this list that they're proclaiming to be on this list are high profile celebrities, high profile athletes, politicians, presidents. So yeah, with that being said, like that's why it's hard for them to get these files because it'll destroy a lot of reputations and it'll destroy a lot of lives and family legacies.
Don't trust clean explanations. Silence creates theories, edits creates.
Like I said, presidents. Who is that? The Trump Meister himself. Man, I can't even talk with these retainers, man. The Trump Meister himself, man. I won't even call him the orange man because he ain't orange in this photo, but
Suspicion.
Donald J.
And the internet always fills
Yes, what
in
up,
the
Donald J?
blanks. Now this is where it flips. Netflix thought cutting content would actually calm things down, but it actually did the opposite. The worst stuff never actually aired. Now let me tell you what this is really about. It's not the tunnels, it's not even Diddy, it's President. Because if one documentary opens a door way too wide, then guess what? Everybody starts asking questions. And platforms hate that. 50 ain't tied to Netflix, he ain't tied to PR teams, and he possibly don't need industry protection. That's what makes him a dangerous man. He can leak without caring who it actually upsets. Now you don't tease footage unless you actually plan to strap up and use it. Pause.
Hold on. Oh, he got me. He got me. All right, so I watched this
Caring
part
who
right
it actually
here.
upsets. Now you don't
Wait,
tease
right here. Look how he signals or looks at like Mary J. Blige to fucking clap. He looks at her to make sure she's clapping with him.
footage unless you actually
That's what type of controlling, manipulative shit this man was on.
plan to strap up and use it. Pause.
That's crazy. Well,
You don't
pause.
hint unless you want pressure. And you don't poke Netflix unless you're ready for a war. Now y'all, something is definitely coming. Might not be very loud, but it's definitely coming. Now we've seen this before. Stories don't die, they get delayed. They move from screens to courtrooms, from podcasts to paperworks. That's where the real damage happens. So here's the question y'all gotta ask yourselves. If Netflix really told the whole story, why is 50 still talking? Why is the footage still being teased? Why does it somehow feel unfinished? And this definitely ain't the end. This is intermission. And the next act, it might not be on Netflix at all. If you want the updates before they go viral, you already know what to do. Stay locked in. Now make sure y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos. Share this video, and I'm gonna keep y'all on the next one.
Hey man, comment, like, subscribe on this man stuff. Mr. Lionel B, I appreciate you for this. But yeah, for me in this scenario of the world versus Diddy, a lot more is gonna come out. I don't know if it's just all on these tapes or these episodes that's gonna probably air soon. But there's gonna be a lot more to come out because they didn't even discuss Usher, they didn't discuss Justin Bieber, none of that in this documentary. And if you know, you know. If you don't, go do your goddamn research. All right, man. Y'all be cool, man. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll let your boy.